Hi, hi, welcome back. Well, um, I'm filming today to talk about how I, actually, how I, um, get past rejection, you know, in life, I guess. More recently, I had applied to a different job and everything was going good, first interview, second interview, reference checks, blah blah blah, toured the area, totally got the impression, she even like gave me HR's like person and going back and forth with like benefits and stuff. So, of course here I'm thinking, okay, I've found a new path to take. I found a new job. The one I'm in right now is kind of not what I expected it to be, whatever. So, I was getting pretty excited, and obviously, all of the signs were pointing to them offering me the job. Well, a month goes by in between the interviews and all that stuff, and then um, I get an email saying, you weren't picked for the position. But here's somebody for this kind of a job that I think will suit you better, blah blah blah. And I'm like, when I read the email, I was at work, and like my heart dropped. And I'm like, damn, like that rejection feeling is like, it's super real. And I sat on it for probably the rest of the day, right? Like, why, like, how couldn't I have not, like, just kind of wallowed in it, right? I was excited because like I said, I wanted to do something different, and everything was pointing to it. And so after a while, I was thinking, because, usually, I know for me, I usually like find all the things that, it wouldn't have worked with me for, like it wasn't considered a full time job. It didn't have um, the pay that I would have liked it to be, whatever. So, I'm going through all of these, like, well, it didn't have this, it didn't have this, it didn't have this. And it's funny because when I was applying and I was interested and I thought I was going to have the job, I'm like, oh, I can make it work with this, if I just do this. So, I guess like we adapt to things naturally, I was going to make it work. I truly was. I was really going to make it work, even if it wasn't, the pay that I would have needed or the hours I would have needed, etc. And then I was like, okay, let me go deeper. Like, let me dive deeper into this. Like, where is that? Like, I just felt crappy. Like, I felt like not good enough. Is it because I'm too old? Is it because of, like, I just started naming all these things of why all of a sudden I felt rejected. And then I think back to, like, when I was younger, being rejected in any different way. Like, um, being rejected by friends, being rejected by boys, being rejected by, things in school. You just start thinking about that stuff. I'm like, that there's probably a deeper meaning to why I feel instant sadness and instant like I'm not good enough with anything. Like I can, like with relationships before this one, being rejected in different ways, like, oh, why does he have to be like this, because now I'm not attracted to him, or why is he a douchebag and blah blah blah, I don't do anything. So, rejection comes in many different forms. It's not just with a job, it's not just with a relationship, it can come in anything. Your kids can reject you. I've had experiences where, we don't talk for a couple of days, and as a mom, you're like, you feel rejected, like, oh my god, you know what's wrong, kind of a thing. So I just wanted to talk about that, because I feel like in this season of my life, in my 40s, things are still taken personal. And I think with that, it just comes with, then you just have more excuses to add to it, right? Like age, or there's, more educated people out there now, or it's, it, it's so tech driven now, maybe I wasn't up to par. Like, there's so many different reasons that we can give ourselves that we're rejected with so many different things that it's crazy. And it took me a couple of days, it took me a little bit to just be like, okay, you know what? Positives, you have a job. We're going to turn this into something that's, you know, workable for me until I can, find something else that crosses my path. But that doesn't define me because they had rejected me for that position for whatever reason at the very end. I take it as that's just, something that I wasn't called to do. It's something I was supposed to walk down and experience. And that's how I'm taking it. There's higher things out there, higher powers that be, so to speak. And with that said, I have to just trust that it was for a reason. It wasn't me. um Nothing that I did, nothing that I said, so just, if there's a form of rejection in your life that you come across or that you experience, and it makes you feel like, it kind of brings you back to that child like feeling, like, oh, I was told no, and then you feel the heaviness of the sadness, I guess. It that's all how I can explain it. It's like, wow, like, really, like, that kind of hurt deep, because you take it personal. I just had to look at it as a form of, that wasn't where I was supposed to go. That wasn't where I was supposed to walk down the next couple of years. It might have been great on paper, but for some reason, maybe it just wouldn't have worked out. So, rejection at any age sucks. Rejection at an older age, I think, feels a little bit deeper because you start taking it personal, because you have a list of things. Like, I had a list of things of why, it probably didn't happen. But I have to stop and think, like, everything that I've crossed, everything that I've been rejected from in the past, everything that I've endured in the past, I've come out at the end of it. And I'm like, okay, if I wouldn't have experienced that, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And it's so true. It's so true. So I'm really trying to take a positive spin on it and keep moving forward, keep trying to, just better where I'm at for the time being, trying to, focus more on my relationship too and see where that takes me. But yeah, you guys, like, I don't want to be like, I know I'm not the only one that feels rejected in certain circumstances and feels really bad about it, but I think we all experience it in some form or fashion. We all can't be like, hard asses and say, no, that didn't do nothing to me, it didn't phase me, like F them. No, because we're human, we have feelings, and we're going to feel them whether we like to or not. So I hope that helps somebody. Just hang in there. It doesn't get easier in life. Life isn't, I guess, made to be easy, I know. I mean, I'm sure we could have a very easy life, but we have to want that. We have to put ourselves in that position to have that easy life, and it just all starts with how we think about ourselves and how we think about our situations, where we're at currently. But all right, you guys, well, hang in there. Have a happy Tuesday, and we'll talk later.